Hello again, everyone. Alright, so today, this is my second video for the day that I'm doing. This one I'm going to be doing the Fear the Walking Dead Season 2 episode predictions for Blood in the Streets. Now I'm going to go ahead and say the what it says on the AMC website, which says, family in distress boards the Abigail. Strand branches off and his past begins to emerge, and Nick searches for an associate of Strand's. Now, in the previews that they have for this episode, there's two of them specifically. One of them you see Nick obviously swimming naked, but he has kind of a plastic bag with his clothes in it, so that they can stay dry. You see him swimming to shore, and as soon as he gets to shore, he starts basically going to his bag and he starts pulling stuff out. By what it looks like. The other one is where you start seeing, he starts off with Strand running to get his gun, that is in basically the kind of captain's area, where Daniel found the maps, the gun, and everything. And he runs there, he gets the gun, and then he kind of starts running out. And he's pretty much looking like he's going to be dealing with the people that are boarding his ship. Now, it does say that there's a family that does board. It does look like there is a fight that does happen, and I'm not sure exactly. Well, obviously, I mean, how it plays out, probably the family is going to die, or at least the dad and the Strand and the rest of them are going to kick the child and the wife off back onto their ship and kind of just kick them away, or even all of them could die probably. That's another distinct possibility. The one thing that was kind of interesting is when the family was coming up and they're saying that they need help, Chris had a gun and he looks to Ophelia and goes, "Should I shoot them?" So that's kind of showing how he's kind of, before he would have wanted them to come on board, now he's not so sure, and he's thinking that just take people out so that way you don't have to deal with them. The first part where it's dealing with the family, out of the, basically in every episode you have about 40 minutes and then actual TV time and 20 minutes worth of commercials. I don't think this is going to take more than 10 to 15 minutes to basically happen and get resolved. I think the rest of it, they're going to focus on Strand branching off and Nick searching for Strand's associate. I think it's kind of interesting how Strand is, how they're saying his past is going to begin to emerge. I'm kind of wondering about Strand, and I might do a video either today, tomorrow, probably today or tomorrow, what I think about Strand himself. So, as far as the associate, I think it might be the person he's been trying to talk to. It's been trying to get down to the final destination that Strand was talking about to Madison, about having a well with water, has high walls, it has supplies, it has a garden. I think this is the person that he's been trying to talk to. And something's gone on to where the associate either can't talk to him anymore or is holed up someplace and is surrounded by zombies. So, I mean, I think that's a distinct possibility. You see a part where it looks like Strand is basically in the water, and he's kind of floating in it. Now, and there's another part where Daniel once again says, "We don't need Strand." That's kind of a huge thing coming from him, of him saying that they don't need Strand, and that all of them pretty much could overpower Strand and throw him in the water. So, I mean, I think the family thing is going to happen, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. The family's maybe going to go to sleep, or they're going to start talking to each other. Nick is going to kind of walk off and talk to Strand. And I think that while the family is either asleep or heavily distracted, Nick's going to go off and try to find Strand's associate. And he's not taking the boat, he's swimming. And that's the other sneak peek, is, like I said before, Nick swimming naked towards the shores. and it looks like, I mean, in the preview, it looks like, I mean, there's helicopters flying around, there's boats out in the water, and there's quite a few other things kind of going on. So I mean, it could be military, it could be Coast Guard, it could be kind of a number of things. I mean, even if they're closer to Mexico, so we don't know how much time has passed between episode 3 and episode 4. So I mean, if they're near the Mexican border, then that could be a whole different story. Let's see here. And I think Nick is going to either find Strand's associate or find Strand's associate dead. I think we need to start bringing people on, as far as maybe have a couple more characters kind of added to the ship. So it'd be kind of nice to have another person instead of just the family dynamics versus Strand. I think that could be kind of interesting, especially if the associate kind of smooths things over with a couple of the family members, maybe more over the kids than the adults. So maybe, I mean, if it's a guy, could probably start talking to Alicia or start talking to Ophelia. They could start kind of liking him. You could start, and this is if it's a guy, could start kind of buddy up with Nick, because of the fact of how Nick and Strand kind of are working together quite a bit. If it's a female, once again, could kind of buddy up to the two girls and talk to them that way, and just kind of joke around. Same thing with you kind of start buddying up with Nick, because if it's a Strand of associates, well, Strand is kind of treating Nick like an associate as well. So you kind of have that entire thing, and Nick is kind of the one that's kind of in the middle, kind of in his own, has his own circle, where he has Strand, who he's kind of not extremely gotten really close to, but has kind of gained Strand's trust at least a little bit, and then he has the entire family dynamic as well, and also has his friendship with Ophelia, and Chris doesn't really like him all that much, but they really haven't had any sort of like real fights. So I'm kind of curious as to this episode. I really do hope that they keep up the pace that they had in episode 3, as far as having kind of things that are interesting going on, and not just kind of keeping like this really slow family dynamic. There was a lot of action. There was pretty much a lot of action in episode 3, where you had Chris having to basically killed a zombie and had to kill the guy. Then the fight with the zombies on the beach, and then Alex and the boys, rope getting cut. So I'm hoping that there's quite a bit of action here, and I'm kind of wondering how Nick once again is going to use the guts trick, because they show that he's covered in all sorts of zombie gore once again. So he caught on really quickly, and he's starting to use that more and more. But that could also be to his detriment too later on, because somebody may think he's a zombie. So I guess we're going to have to see how well that lasts. So with this entire thing, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. It's 8.5 minutes long. I'm looking forward to this episode. So if you all enjoyed this video, please click like, please subscribe to my channel, and please leave comments or questions below. I would love to do a Q&A. I haven't done one for Fear the Walking Dead, and I don't think I've done one yet. So, we'd love to do one. So, y'all have a good day, and bye-bye.